Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the November 17th, 2022 meeting of the Dover Area School Board. If you would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Mrs. Allman, may we have the roll call, please?
Mrs. Britton? Here. Mr. Deschaux?
Here.
Mr. Eifert?
Here.
Mr. Emick?
Here.
Mrs. Herman?
Here.
Mrs. Meese? Here. Mr. Rawhauser?
Here.
Mrs. Whitmer?
Here.
Mr. Wolverton? 8 present.
Okay, thank you. First up, we have a presentation tonight. Mr. Perkins and Mr. Decker, I believe.
Good evening, everybody. I am excited to be here tonight to recognize one of our students, Mr. Christopher Rickroad, who is here with us tonight. On Monday, October 31st, I received a phone call very early in the morning from EMB Transportation that said we had a student in an emergency medical situation on one of our vans. Being the good driver that I am, I always follow the speed limit. I was late to the party getting there this time, but Mr. Decker was there, and so I invited Mr. Decker to be here to share a little bit about what transpired and what he saw and witnessed that day.
Thank you for having us tonight. I just want to give you a little background on our Exceptional Learners program that we have, a little brief history. We go back about 9 years ago, we saw the need in the district and brought our special needs Exceptional Learners back to the district. And with that, we needed to come up with some kind of specialized transportation, which we did. We went out and learned new ways of transporting kids and things we could do. Throughout the summers, we attend different classes, and I'm also on the state board of Exceptional Learners for PSBA, which is the Pennsylvania School Bus Association. So since that time, we've learned a lot. And I can tell you, I share something that was dear to me this week. There's 2 students that started as Exceptional Learners back 9 years ago. I saw them this week when I was subbing a bus. When I first met those students, they were nonverbal, real shy, couldn't do anything. They are now at the high school, riding a regular bus, smiling every day, part of the school. It's incredible to watch. It warms my heart to see those kids excelling so much with a program that we brought back, and we have a really good exceptional learner program in this district. So on that day, we were talking about the 31st of October, we get a call from our driver saying we have a student in a seizure. We have an emergency plan at our building. We employ a gentleman that's 22 years out of Cumberland County as a 911 dispatcher. He's a great asset to have. Put him on the case. He knows the buzzwords to tell 911 exactly what we need and how much we need and how to get it there. I'm also an EMA director for the township. I have a radio that goes to York County. We get things done fairly fast. When I rolled up on the scene that day, the first person I saw was Christopher Rickroad. Needed to talk to me immediately. He had a lot to tell me. He scripted everything that happened with that young man in the back seat from the time it happened till I got there. It was a great source of information for me to give to the medic when he got there. Great source of my information to assess him. I didn't have to do an assessment. Christopher did that for me that day. With his talents, he brought it to the table, extremely. So I'd like to bring Christopher up. We have a recognition for him for an outstanding thinking during an emergency situation. Christopher, we thank you for all you do.
There you go, sir. You want to say anything?
Basically, what actually happened was he would usually do what he did when we basically went other speed bumps from when it happened, and he did not do what he usually did, was look back, but he didn't. I looked back, realized he was staying still, laying down. I immediately realized what was happening. I said, stop the van. I knew what was going on. I could tell. And I was like, he's having a seizure. It's fine. He's gonna be fine. His sister disagreed. Finally speaking English, I was confused. And basically, when the ambulance, the 911 dispatcher came, I explained what happened, and from the time it started to the time till the time of the current position when we stopped. And basically I could know that every second that it took, the more time it would affect the student in the back. And it was heartbreaking to see the student in this much pain and scared and in that much pain. And it just hurt to see it. So I tried to go back there. Dan Driver didn't let me, told me to stay in the front, but I tried to go back as much as I could because I knew I had to do something to help the 911 dispatcher get him out easily and more quickly, so the rest of us could get to the school and he could get to the hospital more quickly and safely, which helped a lot with the student because now we have the van switched around and now the student is getting pills for his seizure and is getting help that is required. It is very helpful for his sister to be there to assist us and also be there. She is not here tonight, but Katie Powell was Danny Powell's sister who was in fact helping with the scene. Take it away.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Christopher, you did an amazing job in all of that, so thank you for coming out tonight. We're all very, very proud of you, so good job. Okay, first public comment period. This is a 30-minute period for items on or off of the agenda. Is there anybody who would like to speak tonight? Okay. Board President's communication, we did not have an executive session, so now we'll roll into our committee reports. First up is Comprehensive Plan, Curriculum, and Professional Development. Mrs. Brinton.
All right, tonight we had 3 items that we talked about. The first was positive action curriculum for the ES classroom, which Mrs. Geyer presented for us. She presented information on positive action, which is a social emotional curriculum that she would like to implement in the emotional support classrooms. It's an evidence-based K through 12 social and emotional curriculum that's designed specifically for students with special needs. Lesson plans are easy to implement and take about 15 minutes daily. The curriculum focuses on skills such as self-regulation, problem-solving, positive self-concept, personal integrity, peer leadership, and soft skills for the workforce. We also went over some information on some meta-analysis on the benefits and I guess the results of implementing this kind of program, and there were a lot of good positive results. It was really exciting to see. She also noted that this is already budgeted and for a 3 to 5 year before we would need to renew anything, the cost is about $7,950. And again, that's K through 12 for that curriculum. Next, Mr. Benton reviewed a college in the high school course that the district would like to offer students called Social Media in Business and Society. The course is for those students who are pursuing marketing or business office management certification. The course would be offered by a Dover business teacher through Pennsylvania College of Technology. The course focuses on the examination of strategic use of social media for personal, professional, and business communication, advertising, and marketing. The course syllabus and curriculum will be presented to the board at a future meeting for board approval. They're still waiting for some information from Penn College on that. But upon approval of the board, it would be included in the January course guide selection guide, and be available to students in the fall of 2023. Lastly, Dr. Houck updated us on the comprehensive plan and shared the final draft of the district mission and vision statements that were written during the comprehensive planning process. The mission for the district would be to educate, empower, and inspire all students to become contributing citizens in an ever-changing world. And the vision is Dover Area School District students will achieve success by engaging in rigorous and relevant instruction, exploring a broad range of opportunities, and discovering unique pathways to a productive future through the supportive collaboration of the entire school community. Dr. Houck then gave the committee a preview of the PVAS scores that will become public in January. PVAS stands for the Pennsylvania Value Added Assessment Systems. It's a statistical analysis of the PSSA and Keystone scores that are used to measure districts, schools, or teachers' influence on the academic progress rates of groups of students from year to year. The scores measure the growth of students and the growth of student groups relative to other students who took the PSSAs and Keystones. Most grade level and subjects met or exceeded growth standard by PDE. The results also show that our lower performing groups exceeded growth standards. The results will be further analyzed during the comprehensive planning meetings to determine the areas of strength for the district and challenge for the comprehensive plan. Dr. Houck also shared with us how the PSSA, Keystone, and PVAS data are used to calculate at a building level score. The building level score is used to both rank districts across the state and comprises 10% of teachers' evaluations. PSSA and Keystone scores are also used an additional 10% of a teacher's evaluation. I don't know, are we sharing okay. Some exciting stats that we saw. Our high school, out of all of York County schools, was probably number 8 out of, I think, 19. So we were in the right below Northern by 0.8 or not even 0.6.
6
600ths of a point. And then the middle school ranked 3rd in the county. And then we had one elementary school, it was North Salem, who was 3rd. Did I mess up the middle school? They were also 5th. Okay. I knew it was, they were up there. It was still good nonetheless. So yeah, some exciting scores, and we got to see the data on a more detailed level, which will help, again, determine instruction and where to identify strengths and weaknesses in curriculum in the school district going forward.
If I could add one little thing. One more thing that I want to add is our middle school and high school both well outperformed all of the cyber schools that our students currently attend. Our building score was significantly higher than all of them. So we were proud of that too.
By 20 points. Yeah.
Okay, any questions for the committee? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to the Human and Fiscal Resources, Facilities, and Safe and Supportive Schools Group.
Okay, we discussed 4 topics in our meeting. Number 1 was the First Capital Credit Union agreement. It's a 3-year agreement to continue the banking space at the high school and what goes along with the banking space. We discussed the North Salem Elementary roof bid, and Progressive Roofing of Mount Joy was the lowest bid for that. The total project cost will be $2.147, thereabouts. The scope of the project includes the complete roof restoration, metal panels over the existing wall finish, replacement of 4 windows, and replacement of all building sealants. Oh, this is an important note. The project was budgeted and will be fully covered under ESSERS 3. And I believe the budget was for almost $500,000 more than what the actual cost came through as. So that'll free up some funds for other needs. Okay, number 3 of 4 was is the high school greenhouse drainage that Director Rawhauser brought up Tuesday night. The issue has been known about and has been being addressed. It looks like it's going to, I guess it's in Crabtree's court at the current time, who was the designer for the high school project. So they were on site today. And Zach brought it to their attention. So they're looking at that drainage, and they're coming up with a resolution for that drainage. So hopefully that'll be resolved here in the near future. So Zach's on it. Thank you, Zach. And then the 4th and final item is the middle school roof. So again, this is an issue Mr. Rawhauser brought up on Tuesday. And it's really, the middle school roof has some leaking issues, but it's just the age of the roof. And Zach gets it patched, when there's a leak. He calls in a service provider for roof repairs, and they repair that. It is on the scope, it is on our list of things to do for the 2025-2026 school year. So it seems like we're just gonna, for the next couple of years, patch as needed. That project's gonna be around $2 million for that roof restoration on the middle school. So only a portion of it was restored during the construction process. So we have to do the remaining square feet. Okay. Anything else?
The only other thing that we're going to add is that coming down the line in the near future, there's going to be some costly issues dealing with the middle school.
Okay. Questions for the committee? Okay, hearing none, we do have some items to vote on tonight in this category, so we'll move into those votes now. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to award the bid for the North Salem Elementary roof and wall restoration to Progressive Roofing of Mount Joy, Pennsylvania, to perform all work related to base bid 1, alternate 1, alternate 2, alternate 3, and alternate 4 in the amount of $1,112,270.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, Mrs. Allman?
Motion carries 8-0.
Okay. Next, I'll entertain a motion to approve the direct purchase of Tremco specified materials from Weatherproofing Technologies, Inc. in the amount of $1,035,081.33.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? Hearing none, Mrs. Allman?
Motion carries 8-0.
Okay, next I'll entertain a motion to approve the request by Lindsay Morris, food service worker at Weigelstown Elementary, for 3 uncompensated leave days, December 20th, 21st, and 22nd, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or discussion? Hearing none, Mrs. Almond?
Motion carries 8-0.
Okay, and finally, I'll entertain a motion to approve the bills paid.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Questions or discussion? Hearing none, Mrs. Almond?
Motion carries 8-0.
Okay, thank you. And that brings us to our miscellaneous period for any other comments or observations from our board members this evening. Does anyone have anything? Okay, hearing none. Final public comment period. Anybody have anything they'd like to state? Okay, future meetings. December 6, 2022, we will have our board reorganization meeting at 7:00 p.m. If there is no further business, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you.